themselves, whether in public or private, to behave in a manner that entirely brings honor to the nation and dignity of the office of the state officer holds and portrays selfless service, based solely on the public interest demonstrated in the execution of public duties and declaration of any personal interest that may conflict with public interest, ensures decisions made by a state officer are not influenced by nepotism, favorism, and improper motives, demonstrates discipline and commitment in service to the people, and 4, avoids demeaning the office that the state officer holds. 4, by the dint of Section 11 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012, enjoins the governor as a state officer to treat members of the public and other public officers with courtesy and respect. And further, by the dint of Section 34 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012, the governor, being state officer, is precluded from bullying any person by engaging in a behavior that is vindictive, cruel, malicious, humiliating, and is intended to undermine a person. 5. Article 73, 2D and E of the Constitution provides for accountability of state officer to the public for all decisions made in exercise of powers of the office they hold, and that accountability is a critical principle of leadership and integrity. Number 6, Article 10, 232, 235, and 236 of the Constitution, Sections 59, 59A, 60, 62, 63, 64, and 65 of the County Government Act 2012 provides for the values and principle of public service and establish an elaborate framework for the establishment of county public offices and recruitment, employment, and dismissal of county public officers. Number 7, Article 179, 4 of the Constitution reaffirms the governor's position as the chief executive of the county. Hence, the Constitution and the law vest primary responsibility for decision making and ensuring the well-being of the county on the governor. This is a strong expression of county governor's commitment and expectation to provide effective leadership, strategic vision, and direction to the county in ensuring efficient and prudent use of public resources for the good of the county. Number 8, Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Government Act, and Standing Order Number 70 and 70A of Standing Orders of the County Assembly of Kericho provides for the impeachment of the governor on grounds of gross violation of the Constitution, gross violation of other written laws, where there are serious reasons believing that the county governor has committed a crime under national or international law, a gross misconduct and abuse of office. 9, Article 201, 205, and 207 of the Constitution forms constitutional basis that guide the counties in raising and utilization of public finances. In particular, Article 207 establish the county revenue fund and clearly stipulate that money shall not be withdrawn from the revenue fund unless the controller of budget has approved. Section 33 of County Government Acts obligates the governor to provide leadership in county governance, be accountable for the management and use of county resources, and to promote, amongst others, good governance, competitiveness of the county. 11. The governor has in various instances failed to take charge and rein on the right, corruption, and unethical practices in the county, and instead, the governor has deliberately aided, abetted, condoned, and encouraged the misuse, misappropriation, misallocation, wanton theft, and pilferage of county finances. Number 12, the governor has in multiple occasions directly and indirectly engaged in acts of conduct which severally and collectively constitute gross violation of the Constitution, gross violation of other written laws, gross misconduct, and abuse of office. 13, by his acts and conduct, the governor has exposed the office of the governor, the assembly, and the people of Kericho to ridicule, embarrassment. 14, the conduct of the governor has been scandalous and embarrassing to the high office of the county governor, an office held in public trust and whose authority ought to be exercised in a manner consistent with the purpose and objects of the Constitution. 15, the conduct of the governor has made it impossible for the county to be governed as it ought to be, compromised service delivery, and jeopardized the functions of both the arms of county government of Kericho. It has therefore become untenable for the governor to continue being in office. Number 16, the governor has variously committed constitutional wrongs that subvert the structure of government and undermine the integrity of office and even the constitution itself of the conduct, i.e. undermining the integrity of office, disregard of constitutional duties and oath of office, a relation adverse impact on the running and administration of Kericho County government. And number 17, the governor has continued to stay in office as and will continue to undermine effective service delivery to the detriment of the people of Kericho County, in whose trust the governor holds the office. The Assembly resolves standing orders on the following grounds. A, gross violation of the Constitution and other laws. Gross violation of Constitution of the Republic of Kenya 2010, the County Government Acts 2012, the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act, the Public Finance Management Act 2012, and Kericho County laws. 1. Misappropriation and misallocation of county finances. On various occasions since his election as governor and subsequent assumption of office, the governor has engaged in various acts of gross violation of Articles 10, 183 and 201 of the Constitution, Section 102 and 109 of the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 412A, and the provisions of Kericho County Rating Act number 5 of 2019 as follows. Roman number 1, fictitious payment of works, goods and services. Between January 2025 and July 2025, the governor engaged in gross violations of Articles 10, 183, 201, 207 and 208 of the Constitution, and Sections 102, 109 and 110 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 and Section 33F of the County Government Act 2012. The governor aided, abetted and or condoned the fictitious payment of goods, services and works which were neither delivered nor done, occasioning the county loss of Kenya shillings 85,704,522 and 90 cents in A, services which were not rendered and or partially done, e.g. the maintenance of 15 residential houses in Kipkeli and West Sub County at a cost of 2,999,000. B, goods not delivered including soya beans, maize jam, sunflower seed cake, and cotton seed cake alleged to have been supplied for Kenya shillings 14,980,640. C, overpriced goods including sodas and alleged to have been bought for about Kenya shillings 500 shillings per 300 milliliters bottle, and a bale of tissue paper alleged to have been bought for Kenya shillings 2,750 per bale of 10 tissue papers, and a hand towel priced at Kenya shillings 3,600 shillings. D, wax, goods and services alleged to have been procured for Kenya shillings 5,172,715 and 60 cents from companies including Mango Products Limited, Hildama Construction and Supplies, Brisa Construction and Supplies Limited, Prospera Ventures Limited, and IBM Pro Construction Limited without any supporting documents. Payment of contractors from the retention account of the works done more than 5 years ago, some of which companies had already been paid and therefore misappropriating county funds through double payments. 2, some of the goods, services and works were procured without following the procurement processes. No tender opening committees were formed contrary to Section 78 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015 as read together with Regulation 25 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Regulations 2020. Similarly, there were no professional opinions done to the accounting officers contrary to Section 84 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. 3, there was deliberate circumvention of competitive tendering of the same goods, services and works by splitting of contracts to suit the request for quotation method, thus violating Section 54 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015 as read together with Regulation 43 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Regulations 2020. 4, most of the goods, services and works were procured outside the approved budget as required under Section 44(2)(a) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. 5, the documents used by the departments were not clear and did not bear references to the procurement requirement, provision of dates, especially invoices generated, and signatures of respective officers. There was therefore blatant violation the provision of Regulation 68 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Regulation 2020. 6. No market survey was conducted as required under Regulation 43(4) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Regulations 2020. The contractors therefore supplied goods with exorbitant prices, contrary to Section 54(2) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act of 2015. 7. All of the subjects' goods, services, and works were paid in advance, yet the county has accumulated pending bills over the last 3 years of Kenya shillings 1.1 billion, which have been verified and are yet to be paid from the time the governor assumed office. 8. The report of the ad hoc committee on the alleged fictitious payments, tabled before Assembly on 5th August 2025, made pertinent and damning findings and recommendations that point to deliberate failure to act, neglect of duty, and even conspiracy on the part of the governor. To wit, A. The documents shared with the ad hoc committee by the departmental heads called to testify were not accompanied by the E-Team's invoice. This lends credence to suspicion that the documents may have been prepared to cover up for the theft after the whistle was blown. B. The payments were made in advance before goods, service, and works were delivered or done, and as at the date of tabling of the report, some of the goods, services, and works remain undelivered to date. C. Documents that were used to process payments bore the signatures that could not be authenticated. Subsequently, certain officers whose signatures appear in the said documents have denounced the documents. D. The gaps highlighted in the report point to serious governance issues, concerns, and weak internal controls in Kericho County that the appointing authority, i.e. the governor, policymakers, county officers, and indeed all officers entrusted to deliver services to the county have failed to do so as required. E. There was an intention to defraud the county and violations of the Constitution 2010, the Public Finance Management Act 2012, County Government Act 2012, the Leadership and Integrity Act, and the Powers and Privileges County Assemblies, the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. Under Article 179 of the Constitution and Section 33F of the County Government Act 2012, the governor has the overall responsibility of being accountable for the management and use of resources. 10. It is a matter of public notoriety that when the whistle was blown on these fictitious payments, the governor on 26 July 2025, while attending a function at Kamolok village in Cheboin Ward, rubbished the claims and called for stern action against the whistleblower. This shows someone who is either unaware of the happenings in the county or was deeply involved in the scandal. Roman number 2, misappropriation of national agricultural value chain development NAF-CDP funds. 11. On various dates between the year 2023 and 2025, the governor has violated the provisions of Article 10, 183, 21, 207, and 28 of the Constitution, and Section 48 and 159 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, and Section 33F of the County Government Act 2012 by aiding, abetting, condoning, and or overseeing the massive looting, pilferage, misappropriation, and misallocation of NAF-CDP funds amounting to over Kenya shillings 351 million as at 10 June 2025. From the report of the Committee of Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries, Tourism and Wildlife on the implementation of status of the National Agriculture Value Chain Development NAF-CDP in Kericho County, table in the County Assembly. The County Assembly noted the following discrepancies in the use of the fund. A. The expenditure was used for farmers, cooperative societies, farmer producer organizations, found only 19 out of 30 wards in Kericho County. This implies that the funds that were meant for agripreneurs, whose role was to enumerate farmers, and organize them into circles was not adequately utilized. B. Each ward circle was meant to get Kenya shillings 1 million, yet the committee found out that of the 19 circles under the program, only 7, however, received financial support. Some SACCO received nominal support in kind. Even those supplies were delivered, and they cannot therefore ascertain the prices appropriation of the fund. 13, the office delivered, and they cannot therefore ascertain the prices appropriation of the fund. 13, the office furniture and equipment supplied under the NAF CDP program are largely of substandard quality. There was therefore no value for money and compliance with the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015, particularly Section 124, which obligates the procuring entity to select. 14, the manner in which the few projects which were implemented were done show that they were done for 16 days is availed as evidence of this shall be availed at the hearing and consideration of the motion. The mover will as well be asking the Assembly to issue an order under Article 195(2)(b) of the Constitution and Section 27(1)(c) and 2 of the County Assembly's Powers and Privileges Act 2017, compelling relevant banks where the funds were drawn from to furnish this house with a bank statement showing the withdrawal of the funds from 2023 to date, because there was no documents supplied earlier. Roman number 3, misappropriation of funds and unfair distribution of projects funds under the Financing Locally Led Climate Action FLOC. 17, on various dates between the year 2023 and 2025, the Governor has violated the provisions of Article 10, 179, 183, 201, 207, and 208 of the Constitution, and Section 102 and 107 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, and Section 33F of the County Government Act 2012, by presiding over unfair, skewed, and nepotic distribution of projects under FLOCA funds, imprudent use, misappropriation, and misallocation of FLOCA fund as follows. A, skewed and unfair distribution of projects under the fund with the Governor's home ward, namely Chimo South Ward, alone getting projects worth Kenya shillings 21,701,590 shillings, while there are many other wards not only in sub-counties but even in Bororiet sub-county, which have received not a single project under the fund. This nepotically skewed distribution of projects under the fund violates the national values and principle of governance and Article 10 of the Constitution, and in particular the values of equity, non-discrimination, equality, good governance, integrity, transparency, and accountability. The principles of public finance under Chapter 12 of the Constitution, as well as the provision of Section 102 and 107 of the PFM Act, which enjoins the Governor to ensure fiscal responsibility and adherence to the values and principles of Constitution in the management of county funds. B, the Joint Committee on Water and Sanitation and Environment, Energy, Forestry, and Natural Resources, in their report on the implementation status of FLOCA programs, noted that some projects